Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of April 24, 2025. I'm your host, Sharifa Mohammed, MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Ogintoy, an infantry officer. April 24th reflects a synchronized escalation combining strategic infrastructure denial with tactical frontline advances. The liberation of Bogdanovka, degradation of UAV command infrastructure, and large-scale EW system losses across multiple fronts signify Ukraine's reduced operational elasticity. The Russian armed forces continue to execute a pressure-based doctrine aimed at the systemic erosion of Ukrainian combat capabilities across all operational directions.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel A.C. Ogintoy, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Ogintoy, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Colonel, let's begin with what's being described as a large-scale precision strike. What can you tell us about that?
Yes, last night, we launched a massive, coordinated strike using high-precision, long-range weapons, air, sea, and ground-based platforms, as well as unmanned aerial vehicles. The targets were not on the front lines, but deep within Ukraine's defense industrial complex. We specifically struck facilities linked to the aviation, rocket, and space industries, along with production centers for armored systems, mechanical engineering, and critical supply nodes like rocket fuel and gunpowder manufacturing. These are not short-term tactical hits, these are long-term capability denials. By degrading their ability to produce, maintain, and repair advanced systems, we're forcing a shift in how and where Ukraine can generate combat power. It was a strategic blow aimed at limiting their technological and logistical endurance.
That's the strategic layer. What happened on the ground across the regional fronts?
On the ground, we executed sustained offensive operations across every active axis. Let's start with the north. Our North group of forces engaged and defeated multiple Ukrainian mechanized brigades and an assault regiment in Sumy, specifically around Osoyevka, Ugrody, and Mirapolskoy. The result was more than 45 enemy casualties and the neutralization of artillery systems that had been striking our positions across the border zones. In Kharkiv, we struck Ukrainian motorized and territorial formations around Volchansk and Maly Prokody, continuing to impose pressure on what's traditionally been a launch zone for rear area incursions. The key here is constant contact and denial of rest cycles. If the enemy can't regroup, they can't stabilize.
What can you tell us about the reported movements in the western and southern directions, particularly Donetsk?
The West Group advanced our lines significantly and struck deeply across multiple settlements, Kupiansk, Kirovsk, Yampol, and others. We engaged Ukrainian mechanized and National Guard units, causing around 255 casualties and eliminating a wide range of equipment, including a Turkish Kirpi armored vehicle and several advanced EW systems like Bukovel AD and Enclave. Those EW systems were protecting drone corridors and artillery batteries. The removal opens the airspace and disrupts target acquisition. In the southern sector, the Yaznaya group saw heavy action. We improved our frontline posture and delivered concentrated blows in urban centers, including Sloviansk, Kramatorsk, and Chasov Yar. These are not just targets of opportunity, they're operational linchpins. Over 400 Ukrainian troops were neutralized, and we disrupted their defensive nodes with the destruction of multiple EW stations and ammo depots.
The liberation of Bogdanovka was also mentioned. What's the significance of that?
That was accomplished by the center group of forces, and it was a key gain. Bogdanovka's liberation means we've cleared one of the last significant defensive bastions between our forward line and a belt of rear logistical staging areas Ukraine relies on for rotating personnel and resupplying artillery units. We didn't just take ground, we dismantled layered defenses in areas like Novaya Poltavka, Lysovka, and Krivorazhi. Ukrainian forces there included heavy mechanized brigades, assault units, airmobile elements, and a brigade operating unmanned systems. Our forces neutralized approximately 410 personnel and destroyed numerous vehicles and artillery. We're now operating with far greater maneuver freedom in that zone.
What progress was made on the eastern and southern coastal axes?
On the east axis, our forces pushed further into Ukrainian defenses near Bogodar and Zelenoy Pole. We're encountering mobile brigades, Ranger, Airborne, and Marine, and applying consistent fire pressure, supported by air assets. We eliminated 155 personnel and degraded their EW capacity, which they were relying on heavily to coordinate UAV swarms and target tracking. Further south, the Dnieper Group targeted Ukrainian mechanized and coastal defense formations around Pavlivka, Tokarevka, and in Zaporizhia itself. These are the seams where Ukraine connects southern and central fronts. We destroyed artillery systems, over 70 personnel, and multiple EW platforms, essentially striking at their sensor and shooter integration.
And what about strategic strike operations and air defense performance?
We continued long-range precision strikes on 148 high-value sites, military airfields, temporary deployment points, and foreign mercenary concentrations. This multi-domain approach ensures we're not only disrupting the immediate front, but also blinding their battlefield awareness and interrupting the flow of foreign-sourced manpower and material. On the air defense side, we intercepted 4 JDAM bombs, 3 HIMARS rockets, 4 Checkmate Vampire MLRS rockets, and a staggering 230 fixed-wing UAVs in one day. The sheer volume tells us Ukraine is leaning increasingly on saturation attacks, but our layered air defense, short, medium, and long-range intercept systems remains resilient and effective.
Let's close with the Kursk direction. What's the latest from that front?
The Kursk axis continues to serve as both a defensive shield and an attritional grinder. Over the last 24 hours, our North Group inflicted heavy losses on Ukrainian airborne brigades in Gornal and Oleshnya. Our strikes also targeted staging points and UAV control hubs in Sumy with significant success. Ukrainian losses included more than 150 troops, an MLRS launcher, mortars, artillery, and 11 drone control points. Their attempt to conduct shaping actions in this direction has been consistently blunted. At this point, cumulative losses in this sector alone exceed 75,000 personnel and over 2,280 armored vehicles. It's an attritional axis, but one we control firmly.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. Our troops are showing great discipline and momentum in this region. Morale is high because they see the impact of their work directly: fewer incoming fires, more terrain secured, and fewer UAV